Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of NASCAR's Biggest What Ifs. Blaise Alexander. Blaise Robert Alexander Jr., or Blaise Alexander, as he was known in most racing circles, was born March 26, 1976, in Montoursville, Pennsylvania. He began his racing career in go-karts at the age of 12. By 1992, Alexander won the World Karting Association East Regional Championship. In an effort to continue climbing the ladder in the stock car racing world, he moved to Mooresville, North Carolina, where that same year he made some starts in the ARCA Series, behind the wheel of a family-owned number 26 Lisa Express Trucking Auto Guard Chevrolet, for 5 ARCA Bondo Marhide Series starts. Considering this was his first few starts in the series, Blaise performed pretty well. Other than the one race he had a mechanical failure, he didn't finish worse than 13th, always finishing higher than he would qualify. His best start was 6th, at the second Pocono race. His best finish was 5th, 1 lap behind the winner, also at Pocono in the series' first race of the season at the track. So overall, in 5 ARCA Series starts, Alexander scored 0 poles, 0 wins, 1 top 5, and 2 top 10s. For the 1996 ARCA Bondo Marhide Series season, Blaise Alexander ran the entire 25-race schedule, running for Rookie of the Year honors, again behind the wheel of the number 26 Lisa Express Trucking Chevrolet for the family-owned team. His best start was 2nd in the second race of the season at Charlotte, and his best finish was 2nd in the first race at Charlotte. The season was full of ups and downs for Blaise. On the upside, he won Rookie of the Year honors. He also led 134 laps throughout the season, and he was rather consistent. The downside was the fact he accumulated 10 DNFs throughout the 25-race season, and he didn't win. Overall, he scored 0 poles, 0 wins, 6 top 5s, and 11 top 10s, finishing 5th in final ARCA Bondo Marhide Series point standings. After his first full ARCA season was under his belt, the 1997 season saw him continue to climb the Motorsports ladder, as he would make his NASCAR Xfinity Series and Craftsman Truck Series debut this season. Alexander ran the first 7 ARCA races in his number 26 Sunoco Lisa Express Trucking Chevrolet. His season got off to a slow start, though, by DNFing 4 times in the first 6 races. At race 7 in Michigan, he finally put a decent run together, starting 7th and finishing 6th. In March, he attempted his first of 5 Craftsman Truck Series starts he was trying to qualify for. Blaise attempted qualifying at Bristol in June, and in fact did qualify, behind the wheel of a number 62 Lisa Express Trucking Chevrolet, again for the family-owned team. He qualified 17th, and ran mid-pack most of the race, on his way to finishing 14th, 1 lap behind the leader. After making his Craftsman Truck Series debut, he went back to the ARCA Series, making 5 starts, and actually had some very strong runs. He almost won the race at Killcare in Xenia, Ohio, leading 53 laps after qualifying 2nd, and ended up finishing 2nd. I mean, Killcare's right down the road. Not even 30 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. Next, he went back to the Craftsman Truck Series to make 2 attempts in August, qualifying for 1 event at Watkins Glen. Alexander ended up having a pretty strong run, starting 24th and finishing a solid 9th. September saw him make 2 more ARCA Series starts at Gateway and Salem. He was competitive in both events, starting 2nd and finishing 6th at Gateway, then starting 12th and finishing 6th again, though he was 2 laps down at Salem. The team also brought a new sponsor aboard in Rescue Engine Formula, a sponsor that would be with Blaine throughout the following season. He attempted the Craftsman Truck Series race at Martinsville, but DNQ'd. The final ARCA start of the season came at Charlotte at the beginning of October. He qualified a strong 2nd, but only a few laps into the race, he had a mechanical failure that ended his race early. Right near the end of the 1997 season, Blaise made his Xfinity Series debut at California in the fall, behind the wheel of a number 20 Rescue Engine Formula Chevrolet for Keystone Motorsports, starting 26th and finishing 20th. The next weekend, he made another Xfinity Series start at Rockingham, where he had a surprisingly strong qualifying run with a 6th place effort. He finished 24th, 1 lap down. Now, let's break down what all he did in 1997. He made 15 ARCA Bondo Marhide Series starts, scoring 0 poles, 0 wins, 4 top 5s, and 8 top 10s, finishing 9th in final point standings. He made 2 Craftsman Truck Series starts, scoring 1 top 10, and he also made the first 2 Xfinity Series starts of his career. That following season, in 1998, Blaise made the jump up to the Xfinity Series full-time, behind the wheel of the number 20 Rescue Engine Formula Chevrolet for Keystone Motorsports. The team had a long, hard season, though, DNQing 5 times. His best start was 5th at Bristol in the spring, and his best finish was 12th at Darlington in the spring. It seemed like as the season drew on, they just couldn't keep up with the rest of the teams. Overall, he scored 2 top 20s and finished 32nd in final Xfinity Series point standings. Blaise also made 2 ARCA Series starts, one for Keystone's number 20 Chevrolet at Daytona in the spring, starting 15th and finishing 35th after his alternator gave out on lap 26. The other start was in the number 66 Ford at Pocono, where he had a solid run, starting 4th and finishing 9th, 1 lap down. In 1999, Alexander was in a bit of a transitioning period, between rides, if you will. He attempted 2 Xfinity Series races in his family-owned number 20 Chevrolet, qualifying for the Charlotte Spring Race, starting 35th and finishing 24th, 3 laps down. On the other hand, Blaise did move back to the ARCA Series to drive his father's number 97 Sunoco Perkins Restaurants Chevrolet. Finally, this season, he broke through and won 2 poles and 2 races. His best start was first, twice, the second race at Pocono and Winchester. His best finish was first twice at Toledo and the second race at Pocono, both in the summer. Later in the season, NASCAR Cup Series veteran Sterling Marlin gave him a ride for the Xfinity Series race at Charlotte in the fall in a number 14 track phone Chevrolet. He started 21st and finished 32nd, 3 laps down. Then, Blaise also made 2 Hooters Pro Cup Series starts behind the wheel of a number 65 Lisa Express Trucking Chevrolet. His best start was 9th at Myrtle Beach, and his best finish was 9th at Lakeland, both coming in the spring. Overall, in 12 ARCA Series starts, he scored 2 poles, 2 wins, 7 top 5s, and 8 top 10s, finishing 16th in final ARCA Series point standings. Also, he made 2 Xfinity Series starts and 2 Hooters Pro Cup Series starts, scoring 1 top 10. The changing of the centuries, the year 2000, and for Blaise Alexander, this would end up being his final full-time season in the Xfinity Series, behind the wheel of number 81 track phone World Championship Wrestling Chevrolet for Team Sabco. The season got off to a bad start by DNQing for the opening race at Daytona. The team just didn't seem to have the speed. He was able to qualify inside the top 10 4 times and finish there twice throughout the season. His best start was 6th at Rockingham in the spring, and his best finish was 7th in Atlanta in the spring. As the season went on, things didn't really improve at all. Though, if you remember, Team Sabco was in the midst of a slew of changes, including a manufacturer change, so it doesn't really surprise me that they didn't improve throughout the season. Overall, he scored 0 poles, 0 wins, 0 top 5s, and 2 top 10s, finishing 25th in final Xfinity Series point standings. For the 2001 Xfinity Series season, Blaise made the first 4 starts of the season for the number 8 Chevrolet for Highline Performance Group, owned by Armando Fitz. His best start was 26th at Daytona in the spring, and his best finish was 12th at Atlanta in the spring. He also made ARCA starts for Joe Falk's number 7 and number 91 Pontiacs. In his 7 starts for the team, his best start was 1st at Watkins Glen in the summer, and his best finish was 2nd twice at Watkins Glen and Pocono in the summer. Blaise moved back up to the Xfinity Series to make the final 2 Xfinity Series starts of his career in Carroll Racing's number 08 Chevrolet. His best start was 23rd, and his best finish was 11th, both coming at Michigan in the fall. Late in the 2001 season, Blaise made 2 ARCA starts for Bob Scott's number 75 Pontiac. His best start and finish came at Michigan in the summer, where he won the pole and he won the race. The other start came at Charlotte on October 4th, 2001. Blaise started 4th and was fast all race long, fighting for the lead with Kerry Earnhardt most of the race, leading 12 laps along the way. On lap 62, Earnhardt was ahead, but a lapped car slowed him up, allowing Blaise to get side by side with him. They made contact as they crossed the start-finish line. Alexander hit the wall head-on. Then the race car came off the wall and struck Kerry Earnhardt's race car, forcing it to flip on its roof. Earnhardt climbed out safe. The same could not be said for Blaise. They took him to the infield care center, where at 10:20 p.m. they pronounced him dead. As a result, of the rapid deceleration caused an accident, which then resulted in a deadly basilar skull fracture. He was the 6th driver to lose his life in a 24-month period. NASCAR would implement the head and neck restraint devices and make them mandatory for all drivers, as well as NASCAR installing safer barriers on all NASCAR oval tracks. 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson was a close friend of Alexander's. He even ran a decal on the front left bumper of his race car for him for most of the rest of his career. So, how successful do you think Blaise Alexander would have been in NASCAR? Do you think if he survived that accident, NASCAR still would have made it mandatory for the drivers to use the Hans device and install safer barriers? In 65 Xfinity Series starts, he scored 0 poles, 0 wins, 0 top 5s, and 2 top 10s, with the best points finish of 25th in 2000. In 2 Craftsman Truck Series starts, he scored 0 poles, 0 wins, 0 top 5s, and 1 top 10. In 68 ARCA Series starts, he scored 4 poles, 3 wins, 22 top 5s, and 38 top 10s, with the best points finish of 5th in 1996. Thank you for watching, everyone, and take care.